Brace yourself. It's that time again. Hey, welcome to Unfiltered. Oh, this is episode number 45. Can you believe it? 45, 5 more till 50. And we're planning something big for the 50th episode. I gotta tell you about Monday. I had a rare Monday night off because the car was in the shop Monday and I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it back in time. But it gave me a chance to go up to Jane and Mike's up in Stoddard. And it was a nice day, so we went up and hung out. Mike got an idea to take a boat ride, do a little fishing. So we went out, went around the pond. It was dusk, and he's got a beaver up there that he likes to chase once in a while too. And we were hoping to get a little beaver chasing done, but the little stinker never did show his face, did he?
No, he didn't.
I think you've got him scared, Mike. But it's fun. But we did do some fishing, and we worked one whole cove, moved over to another cove, and Mike had caught a pretty nice fish out of the first cove. But it seemed like as we were fishing the bank, they were jumping just ahead of where we were fishing. So I think we were behind them. But we got into the other cove, and I cast out, I'm reeling in, and I got a hit and got him. And it was great because I don't fish a whole lot, but it's always fun to get a good fish, and I fought him maybe, 3 or 4 minutes. He jumped out of the water twice because it was a bass. I pulled him up onto the boat, and man, telling you, good fish, good fish. What?
Yeah.
All right, so it wasn't that big, but it was a fish. Anyway, I don't know. Today, I had lunch down at Gino's. Stopped in to see Donna. And, there were some guys from Ringe in there at the bar. And Donna was talking to them. And they were Harley riders. And of course, Donna, she had to tell them who she was. Single mother, my age, in her 40s. Breast cancer survivor. She owns a 1983 fully loaded shovelhead Harley. White. Oh, it's a beauty.
Full dress, huh?
Yeah. And she'd probably sell her soul for it, I would imagine.
She probably did.
No, I don't think she did. Donna's a hard worker.
Donna's a hot shit.
She's fantastic, yeah. But and she put these bikers right in their place.
Oops.
So, yeah. Nobody heard you anyway. We can't hear you when you stand over there and talk, so.
I'm in the air conditioner.
We get to some news. All right. This one I saw kind of made me think. The headline is, nearly a third of Iraqis said to need emergency aid. First thing I thought of was, why don't we send FEMA in there to take away all their guns? That would be the best thing to do. I read the article, and what it basically says is 70% of Iraqi residents lack adequate water supply, compared with 50% in 2003. And more than 4 million people have been displaced during that time. Humanitarian assistance in Iraq has declined from 453 million in 2005 to 95 million in 2006. And Iraqi civilians are suffering from a denial of fundamental human rights in the form of chronic poverty, malnutrition, illness, lack of access to basic services, and destruction of homes, vital facilities, infrastructure, as well as injury and death. And it's a lot of the things that we take for granted here in the United States. We just assume that we've got a place to live. You know, when you turn on your TV, you're going to have cable. And God forbid there's no cable when you turn on the TV. You throw a fit and immediately start picking up the phone. Where's my damn cable? Yeah. I mean, because you have the right to have your TV. You know, it's a luxury. You know, try living in a box with no TV, no wallet.
TV box.
You know, try living in a TV box. Good thinking, Mike. Anyway, this story goes on to say that Iraq continues to represent the fastest growing refugee crisis in the world, and that 2 million people have left their homes for other parts of the country, while an additional 2 million have fled to other nations, mostly Syria and Jordan. And the problem's especially acute among professional workers. And it says more than 40% of doctors, engineers, and other highly skilled workers have left the country. I mean, you can't blame them, really. But, yeah, I don't know.
They should put a 100-foot wall around it, seal it, and fill it with water.
But that's 1/3. So 1 in 3. Now, I don't know. I should have got the numbers of how many people in the United States need emergency aid. You know?
While you're on that story, Rick, I got to tell you. Just before we came here, I saw on the news this military guy that said was found guilty of killing an Iraqi, murdering an Iraqi, and I'm like, excuse me if I'm wrong, but isn't that why we're over there?
Yeah.
I mean, they're even shooting kids that come out carrying bombs and stuff. So I didn't hear the whole story, but I just thought that was kind of an oxymoron. They was found guilty of murdering an Iraqi.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
and it is. And kids, women, you know, no exceptions. We have to kill these people because, I mean, I got something I'm going to talk about a little bit later that's, you're not going to believe this story. This one I pulled because I've talked in the past about the movie Who Killed the Electric Car, and California trying to implement a zero emissions policy for the global warming effects and all this stuff that's going on. But this is the head of the Environmental Protection Agency refused to say Thursday whether he'd been informed of a Transportation Department lobbying campaign against a California global warming law. It's mumbo jumbo is what it is. People passing the buck and not remembering stuff and just
Covering their butts.
it's not covering their butts. Bending over backwards to appease the car makers and the oil companies is what it is. Because in this case, California wants permission to put in place a landmark law to cut greenhouse gas emissions, mostly carbon dioxide, by an estimated 25% from cars and 18% from sport utility vehicles, beginning in 2009. And if California gets its waiver, there are a dozen other states waiting to follow in their footsteps. But this is what they tried to do back in the 90s with the electric car. And, you know, why people aren't at GM's door demanding that they bring this damn car back, this electric vehicle that they had that was so fantastic. You know, the oil companies are going to keep going and keep going, and there will be consequences to that. All right, here's some cool news from Berlin. Berlin has renamed one of its streets. Was formerly Street 13. It's on the eastern outskirts of Berlin and amidst empty industrial buildings. It's the home to Orwohaus, a former communist-era film factory that now provides practice studios for more than 160 bands. And the musicians at this place have campaigned for 2 years to have the street's name changed. It's now known as Frank Zappa Strasse, or Frank Zappa Street. Yeah, named after Frank Zappa. Yeah, 18 bands, including the Frank Zappa cover band Chic Your Booty, celebrated the renaming this weekend with an all-night concert for more than 2,800 people. That's the coolest thing. We need to start renaming streets around Keene. That's what I think. All right, this will be the last one I read for the current news, because it's got me. Beijing. The Olympics are coming up in Beijing. Beijing. What's it going to be? The 2008 Olympics, I believe, right? In Beijing?
2008, yeah.
2008? Okay. Here it is. The Chengdu giant panda breeding base has come up with a scheme that turns the droppings from panda bears into odor-free souvenirs ranging from bookmarks to Olympic-themed statues of the animals, state media and base officials said. They're going to sell us shit. Panda shit. And that's what they're going to sell. Says they used to spend about $770 American a month to get rid of the droppings, but now they can be lucrative. Yeah. Products will be made at a local handicraft company, mostly from undigested bamboo culled from the panda waste through a special process. Yeah. And sterilized. They don't smell too bad because 70% of the dung is just remains of the bamboo that the pandas are unable to digest.
Who's the guy that said that it
The
doesn't
tooth-
smell?
2008 Olympic statues will feature athletic pandas performing various Olympic sports.
Did they taste them?
I don't know, but it's panda poop. And little statues. How the hell do you make a panda athletic? They're these little fat roly-poly bears. You know, like give them big muscles and have them pole vaulting or something, you know?
I thought that stuff doesn't stack that high.
Oh, man, apparently in China they figured out how to stack it that high. All right. Well, that's all the local news out of the Sentinel I'm going to read. So we'll do crew call. I made that for you, Mike. We're going to start on camera 1 with Greg. Is back with us again this week, as always.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Greg.
And I don't know, did Greg get a one shot? We got Mike first.
No, Jane first.
Oh, we've got Jane first.
What are you going to do?
Oh, it's a two shot. All right, cool. It's a cool. We've got Jane and Mike. Mike's running the camera, and Jane's sitting in the chair. But you guys probably could have figured that out.
Mike
See,
and Jane.
I put them next to each other just in case she wanted to hit him or something tonight, that she could. Might make good TV. In the booth, we got Bruce and Andrea.
How's it going out there, Rick?
It's going good. Smooth opening, I guess.
Yeah, it looked all right from this end.
Not too bad.
Hopefully it didn't look too bumpy on the outside.
The fish thing didn't go over too well, but yeah, oh well.
Could have done a little better on a fish story, but
Yeah.
that's all right. We're all having fun.
I was never a real great liar.
The
so-
one that got away.
That's right. You know how to lie good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't lie about the NASCAR race.
No, the NASCAR race didn't come out so well. So
Because
I'll let Andrea take that one over.
I thought I was going to get a lot of money, but apparently I didn't.
No,
So go
I
ahead.
got the money.
That's right. You got the money, Andrea. So
I got the money. And I wasn't even there to watch the race with you guys. I turned around and I came home and I actually went down the hall and I waited for the race to be over. Then I came out and Bruce hid the cup for me. So I sat down and I had no idea at that point who won or who did what. And I watched the whole race and it wasn't until the end when I found out that Martin Truex was scoring higher than anybody else, and I got the money. The guys are going to stop letting me play if I keep taking the money away. But anyways, let me give you the results of the race. We had Tony Stewart, and let me tell you what. Now, you guys said ship high in transit. Tony said it, and you know what? He got fined for it. For all you people who don't know what ship high in transit means, that's shit. Uh,
Yeah,
so-
now you're getting fined too.
yeah, no, I guess I'll get fined.
She said
Anyways,
the her fine should be larger.
Juan Montoya came in second, and actually, as a rookie this year, that was his highest finish for an oval track. Then came in Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Reed Sorensen. So that really wasn't bad at all. It was a good finish.
And you won the money with what, 12th place, right?
Yeah, Truex came in 12th, not
Yeah.
bad. Point standings left us with Gordon. Denny is still in second. Matt Kenseth is in third. And for all of you who are Matt Kenseth fans, you missed seeing his car at Hannaford's today because it was over there on view. Jeff Burton and Tony Stewart are the first five. Now, Denny Hamlin would have probably done a whole lot better in the race, but he had one heck of a bad pit stop. Put him a lap down.
Yeah, he stalled it because he ran it out of gas.
Yeah, ran out of gas, stalled the thing. They couldn't get it started. And from what Bruce said, you had all you could do to not scream.
Oh my God! And I've got to tell you that the television coverage of that race was poor to start with. We were upset that they were getting graphics wrong. They were, you know, too much headroom. Bruce was yelling at the cameraman to change shots.
See, that's what happens. Oh, Lord. Now, Jimmy Johnson actually dropped to 9th in points. He went out kind of like in a blaze of glory. He blew a tire, slammed the wall, his car went into flames, and he went diving out of the car.
Yeah, they showed that he. They said when he hit the wall, he crushed the fuel pump
Yeah.
and tore that off, and that was what started the fire.
And it said it made the side of his face real hot. He ended up actually singeing some of his eyelashes and everything. Poor Junior, he was running pretty decent, and he was up in 6th, and all of a sudden, his car blew up. He ended up finishing 34th.
Wow.
And like I said, darned if I didn't win the money with a 12th place finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the other little tidbits of news is Biffle, after the Busch race, he didn't fulfill his media obligation, so he got fined. Because you have to do it. Like it or not, you gotta do it. Tony Stewart got fined 25 points and $25,000. And I'll tell you what, honestly, finding these guys that are that far up in the chase, 25 points, that's nothing more than a pissant spit in the bucket. It's nothing because they're still hanging in there. But then, last but not least, and it really has not a whole lot of, bearing on the race or the standings or anything, but Stephen Wallace, who drives a 66 of Rusty's car, he decided to hang around after the Busch race and went to a convenience store and was attempted mugging by 3 guys. And they wanted his watch, and he decided he wasn't giving it up, so got some cuts and bruises. But it kind of reminds me of the way things are in this day and age, but it reminds me too of an old John Wayne movie I saw years ago. It said, it always takes more than one, and that's because they're not good enough. But anyways, that sums it up, and that's it for NASCAR this week.
Thank you, Andrea.
Sure.
And with that, we'll slide into the 70s. And if you were watching TV on Thursday nights in 1977, here's what you would have seen, because I pulled the TV listings. CBS, Channel 7, had, this is their lineup for Thursday night, was the Waltons, Hawaii Five-0, and Barnaby Jones. NBC had the NBC Thursday night movie, which was showing Finian's Rainbow with Peter O'Toole. No, with Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire, yeah. And
By the way, Rick, little side thing on that. That was one of his last dancing movies he was not a youngster when he danced in that, and he did one hell of a dance scene.
yeah, it was because it was a 1968 movie. So
For your viewers at home that just got a nice shot of Greg's feet, he decided he was going to air them out during the show, and we thought it was a little funny, so I threw a quick shot up on the TV.
I didn't even
Don't
notice
mean to
that.
offend anybody at home, but
That's what that sudden odor was. I was wondering. I thought it was Mike, but apparently it was Greg. And ABC's Thursday night lineup was Welcome Back, Kotter, What's Happening, Barney Miller, Three's Company, and then West Side Medical. And that's what was on Thursday nights. I don't remember West Side Medical, but I remember the comedies because I used to love those old sitcoms.
That was probably on too late for us to watch.
This week in 1977, Heidi Barndollar, 13 years old, won the state Frisbee championship girls division for the third year in a row. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. She grew up the street from Jane.
Did you catch it in her mouth?
And Jane says she passed away a few years ago. So that's too bad. But yeah, she was, I guess, the reigning state Frisbee champion for 4 years running in the girls division. So this could have been yesterday, but it was 1977. Puerto Rican terrorists bomb New York offices. Yeah, something called the FALN, an underground Puerto Rican nationalist group demanding independence for the Caribbean island Commonwealth. And they bombed two buildings in Manhattan, two Manhattan office buildings. Mobile oil company building and a Defense Department office were the latest in a series of more than 40 explosions that they've claimed responsibility for over the last several years. And telephone threats, about 150 of them, warning of other bombs, forced tens of thousands of workers to flee into rain-drenched streets from the tallest skyscrapers in Manhattan. And it triggered massive traffic jams. So there was 1 dead and 7 hurt. But it's nothing new. Now you know. Rice paper is not made from rice, as its name suggests. Nope. It's made from the bark of the rice paper plant, a shrub in the ginseng family. So, now you know.
That's why you get energy when you smoke a joint? No.
That's why you get energy when you smoke rice paper. Yeah.
How many more?
2 more. So I'll do this and then that one. Just short. It's okay. I'm directing the director is what I'm doing. The chain of command, director, producer. So, this week in 1977, U2 pilot Gary Powers died. Anybody remember who Gary Powers is?
Yeah.
Us smart people do. He was the man that got shot down over Russia in the U-2 spy plane. And he was sentenced to 10 years in their prison as a spy, and he was released, I think it was 2 months or 2 years. 2 years later.
2 years.
He was traded for a spy. It was one of those, we'll trade you our spy for your spy kind of deals. Yeah. But he died this week in 1977, and he died in a helicopter crash. He was piloting a helicopter filming wildfires in California.
Oh,
Yeah. And he crashed. So, yeah, lived through being shot down in at the time was the stealthiest, most secret, fastest airplane that we had. He dies in a helicopter crash.
yeah, probably from the highest altitude, too.
Kind of, yeah, the highest altitude, yeah.
Because that was before the SSS.
All right. And this was kind of cool because a lot of people only know this from the old Star Trek episode with V'ger. Remember V'ger?
Bruce and I. Oh, yeah.
This week in 1977, the 2 Voyager spacecraft were getting ready to launch. 1977, they launched on their mission to go to Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and possibly Uranus and Neptune. And It said both missions, they were scheduled to launch on August 20th and a second on September 1st. And it said both missions may last a decade or longer and give man his first close-up look at a dozen bodies in the solar system. I mean, since then we've sent rovers to Mars and everything else. So, but yeah, 77 was when, I mean, it was the end of the space race, but we were still trying to explore and figure out what exactly was out there. So, yeah, it was kind of cool. All right. And this week in 1977, Mike Blastos. He had a pretty good one, too. Mike Blastos says, the August-September issue of National Wildlife, a national magazine, contains a spectacular article entitled, Someone is Always on Monadnock. The article is beautifully illustrated with full-color photos, and it's enough to make you realize that we all live in one of the most gorgeous areas of the world. The author, Steve Sherman of Hancock, New Hampshire, claims that 125,000 climb Monadnock every year. But after this beautiful feature is seen around the country, the traffic may become uncontrollable. One woman has climbed Monadnock at least 258 times. Monadnock is only 3,165 feet high, but it can be seen from all 6 New England states. Now, if I can only erect one of my ice cream cone lights on a summit. Yeah, he had a lot of good things to say, but he was always after the almighty dollar. So, all right, where am I?
CD review.
Birthdays. I got birthdays.
CD review.
It's birthdays. They're quick. No, birthdays are listed under out and about, Bruce. Haven't you been paying attention for like the last 6 episodes? It does? And then out and about? On your card? We'll go by your card, buddy. Now I gotta find my CD review. No, I don't. This week's featured CD, Jim Croce Live, the final tour. And I grabbed this because this was one of the coolest guys I ever knew. And I do have a card for my CD review. Sorry.
Jeez.
Give me a break, man. It's getting hot in here and I'm getting worked up. You guys barking orders at me. I got my stuff here. I had a whole plan. You guys are screwing me up. All right. Jim Croce, one of the best singer-songwriter storytellers of all times.
Thank you.
And he wrote about real people, real places, and real things. And he did a roller derby queen and a song called Speedball Tucker, which were little stories about people that he actually knew. He's another one of those artists that died way too early in life. He died, I believe, in his early 30s. And I can't remember what he died of. But this has got, it's got operator on it.
You don't know what he died of?
Was it cancer?
No, he was in a plane crash.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Jane says he was in a plane crash, if nobody heard her.
Sorry, plane crash.
Oh, okay. No, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But I'll probably stumble across that in my paper readings, you know? But yeah, he did, I mean, I can't think of one song he ever did that wasn't a great song. And this is a live album. It's probably pretty rare at this point. I think I found it at Turn It Up. But I had always thought of him as just a singer. But this album, he does the little bits like Arlo does in between his songs. You know, little stories and tales. And in the little introduction to Speedball Tucker, he does a little story about being in a truck stop and seeing some news people interviewing this one guy that had been, this one truck driver who had driven 1,000,000 miles. And the news people asked him, they said, well, you can handle about anything, right? And he says, yeah, and I've seen everything, been through it all. And the news people said, well, let us set up a situation, and then you can tell our audience how you would have handled it to show the quick thinking and responses that you have to go through. And he said, okay. And they said, well, now suppose you're coming down, crossing the Rockies, and you're coming down off one of the highest peaks in the Rockies, and you come around a corner, and your brakes go out. And the trucker says, yeah. And he says, all right, and now a little further down the road, you see an oil truck halfway on the shoulder of the road broke down. And the trucker goes, yeah. And he says, and coming up the other lane is a school bus full of kids. What would you do? The trucker just sat back for a minute and he says, the probably first thing I'd do is wake up my partner. And the news guy says, well, why would you do that? And he says, well, because he hasn't been driving that long and he's never seen a wreck like the one we're about to have. Great CD. If you can find it, Jim Croce, The Final Tour.
Now, that's the one you had planned when we came in tonight?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know something like that existed. I never knew he had a little thing out, an album out like that. With
I've actually got
talking on it.
two of his live albums that are excellent. All right, now I'll do birthdays. Seeing how I've been kind of lazy this week, and because of the car in the shop on Monday, and I work Tuesday and Wednesday night, so I haven't really had a whole lot of time to get out and about to see
Went fishing.
to see what's going on in town. But I do have birthdays. July 30th, out of the Sentinel. Movie director Peter Bogdanovich is 68. Famous movie director. Actress, here's one. Actor / politician governor, or the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is 60. This on July 30th. Lawrence Fishburne, the actor,
He's a good actor.
46.
Good actor.
And actress Lisa Kudrow from Friends is 44. On July 31st, God, I don't know any of these names. Singer Gary Lewis of Gary Lewis and the Playboys is 62. Wesley Snipes is 45 on July 31st. Greg, you're the music guy, right? Ever heard of a guy named Fat Boy Slim?
I think so.
Says musician Fat Boy Slim is 44. He does sound like a blues singer or a rap guy.
I'm thinking it's Brad.
Or rap, Fat Boy Slim.
I think
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm thinking Brad.
J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, is 42 on July 31st. And Dean Cain is 41. All right, local birthdays. Well, not local, but Andrea's son Tommy on August 3rd. Tommy Marshall is 26 years old on August 3rd. Her baby. Now, he's the youngest, right?
Yeah, he's number 5.
Number 5. Wow. And on August 7th, Alethea Glimanakis turns 21. So, I'm going to buy her a drink. As a 21-year-old, I want to buy her a drink. And if you have any birthdays and you want your birthday memorialized right here on Unfiltered TV forever, just email me at headforlaughs@hotmail.com. All right. That's all the junky
By the
stuff.
way, you want to know who Gary Lewis and the Playboys were?
All right. I'll
Gary
bite.
Lewis is Jerry Lewis's son, and he wasn't a great singer, but he did do some singing. And I'm trying to
okay.
remember one of the songs he was biggest for. But it was back in, I want to say the 60s.
Must have been the late 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it sounds like one of those kind of band names. All right. Tuesday, Cheshire TV board had its meeting with City Manager John McLean. And from what Lee Perkins has told me, it was a fairly productive meeting. And it seems that John McLean and Tom Casey from Time Warner are going to get together and see if they can hash this thing out. Now this is what you're paying right now. I'll go with the basic cable subscribers. Subscribers of just basic cable right now at 0.75% pay 39 cents a month on your cable bill for public access, for what you're seeing right here. The 3%, the increase to 3% will raise that section of your bill from 39 cents to $1.55, $1.16. So for just over $1.50, you get 24-hour programming on Cheshire TV, local people, local topics. You watch people on TV that you just may see in Hannaford's or Shaw's or at the movie theater or in a bar in town. And you can guarantee that Time Warner will never give you HBO or Showtime for $1.55 a month. You know? Big bucks for those, and what do you get on those? Junk. And the same things over and over and over for the whole month. This, you get different stuff, and you know.
Variety.
But that's the plan, and so I guess that they're gonna try and get this thing hashed out. So, but keep calling your city councilman, keep calling the city manager, the mayor, keep calling Tom Casey down at Time Warner here at Eagle Court, and tell them you're willing to pay that 3% for the 24-hour programming that you get here on Cheshire TV. You know, it's not much. So, all right. Here's something I mean, it's kind of happy, but it kind of upset me. And it shouldn't have upset me, but it did. Cheshire Fair started Monday, or Tuesday. Tuesday. And on Tuesday, they voted or chose Little Miss Cheshire Fair. Oh, she was a cute little thing, too. Her picture was in the paper. Her name is Alicia K. Berardi. She's 7 years old. She's from Dunbarton. That's what upset me. Shouldn't Little Miss Cheshire Fair be
From Cheshire.
at least from Cheshire?
You would think.
You know? We bring in a beauty queen from Vermont? What, none of the girls from Keene are pretty enough? Or what? I mean, how could this? I mean, she shouldn't have even been able to enter. But I guess if you can bring horses from Vermont, and we just have the Cheshire Fair and all our awards go to Vermont.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But I don't know. I'm happy for the little girl. She's well on her way to learning that beauty is everything and being thin is everything, and God, she'll have problems forever. This girl will be scarred for life. She'll end up anorexic, you know, hate-filled. But, yeah, that's what happens.
Which one do you want? Pick a camera, any camera. Which one do you want? Your choice.
You guys better start doing your damn
Talent
jobs.
choice.
I'll fire everybody right here on the set.
Here, Rick.
Yeah, everybody get out. That's it, you're all fired. Do the show myself like Wayne Green does on Wise Up. Just me and the camera. No need for anybody. All right. Racism. Sexism. What else do we have? See, black and white, Catholic and Muslim, Jewish, man, woman, straight, gay. They're all differences that we're fighting against. Black and white, we've kind of got that equal, right? Blacks and whites are equal. Women and men are equal. Rich and poor. How the hell are you ever going to end that difference? Money is the biggest segregator in the world. And it always will be. And we look at people. I got sidetracked with the money thing because I wrote Rich and Poor on this one. The military and private schools. When I went in the military, I got into boot camp. One day, the first day that you get there, you see all these people that are coming from all over different parts of the country, and you've already made assessments as you've watched everybody get off the bus about who the rich guys are, who the poor guys are, and, you know, people's status in life. First thing the military does, they cut your hair, they take away all your clothes, dress everybody the same, and everybody becomes the same. And then, when everybody is the same, the people that deserve respect earn their respect. And it's not necessarily the guy that walked in with the nicest clothes, you know, or the best looking haircut, you know. It was,
The same haircut.
and a lot of private schools do the same thing with dressing all the kids the same. Because then kids don't look at each other. They don't see the differences. And we shouldn't look at differences. We should, when you meet somebody, the first thing you should think is, how is this person similar to me? You know, the whole world, we're all alike. I mean, black people, white people, men, women. I watched the men's show, or the men's room here on Cheshire TV, put on by the Men's Resource Center. They were talking about transgender stuff. You know, women in guys' bodies, guys in women's bodies. The whole realm of gender issues, you know, and the fact that maybe there aren't just two genders. Maybe we've all just been duped into thinking that this is, you know, this is the way it is because this is the only thing we've learned. But maybe there, you know, are a whole people that don't fit into certain categories, you know. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but we need to look at how similar we are instead of how different we are, is all I wanted to say. Anyway.
Took you long enough.
Yeah, it did take me long enough.
Jeez.
And sometimes it does.
You lost us. We're scratching our heads and go, what is he talking about?
Yeah, well, when I wrote it down, I didn't really know what I was thinking, but
So
that's.
why did you try it out
I mean,
the show first?
I had a ton of stuff, a ton of things going through my mind on the whole. You know, why do we look at the differences in people? You know, who cares what religion you are? Who cares, you know, what color skin you have? But the biggest thing that nobody will ever, that will always make things unequal is
Financial status.
financial status. You know, until we, you know, figure out which is, I mean, science says humans use 10% of their brains. And that's all we use is 10%. We've got this huge, complicated brain. We only use 10% of it. We use that 10% to devise machines to make our lives easier. Why not use the 10% of the brains that we're using to figure out how to use 20% of our brains instead of just building a computer to be our brain?
Why can't we build a computer to help figure out how to use the other 90% of our brain?
Well, I mean, that might help, but computers,
If we're lazy enough not to do it ourselves, program a computer to
we're wasting a lot of time on computers and technology because when the shit hits the fan in this world, there will be no electricity to run your friggin' computers. There will be no air conditioners to keep them cool. We will suffer just like back in the Stone Age.
Who said they suffered, though?
They probably didn't. They adapted. And we will have to adapt. But we're getting so far away from basic survival. We've made life so easy, and we take so many things for granted these days. I mean, you can't tell me that when you have to make an important phone call and you pick up your cell phone and you have no signal, that you don't want to throw the cell phone right out the window. And you curse and bitch and complain because you don't have a cell phone signal.
That's all right,
Poor
'cause
baby.
I'm just trying to call Jane so she don't get
Yeah,
mad at me.
and poor baby, you
Dude,
got no
remember,
cell phone figure.
Dude,
You
I
know,
don't
20
even
years
have
ago,
water.
20 years ago, no cell phones.
I don't have running water.
People used to,
Yeah, now
30 years ago, you actually had to put your finger in a little hole in the phone and turn the
We
thing.
still have
We
one of
have
those.
one
Do you? Yes, in Stoddard you do.
Yes, we do.
That's right, yeah. And I still remember in Spofford when I was growing up, because my uncle lived in Spofford, he had a phone that you cranked and you talked
To the operator.
to the operator down in the switching office down in the center of town.
Remember living in Marlboro? You didn't have to dial a prefix. Just
No,
the
just the
number.
last four numbers.
Last
Same
four
in
numbers.
same in Spofford, and all the little surrounding towns were the same way, because there weren't that many people.
How about the party line, when you had to wait for the person on the other end to get off the damn
Yeah,
phone so you
when
could
you had-
use the phone?
yeah,
And
and
it
you-
was usually 7 people on the party line.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably where these chat line, all this phone sex and stuff started happening with all that group phone lines and stuff, What can you say? All right. This was funny. I didn't get the whole story, but it goes back to the death of Pat Tillman, the football player that quit football to join the Army because of the war on terrorism after 9/11.
The Cardinals?
He played for the Cardinals, yeah. And he was killed in Afghanistan. He was an Army Ranger. Come to find out, he was killed by a friendly fire incident. And I was flicking through channel surfing last night, and I came across one of the political channels, and the committee, the House committee, some House committee or something was questioning Rumsfeld, Donald Rumsfeld. And you guys can't do this. Never mind. Here's one that you're not gonna fucking believe.
No!
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
It's all right.
All right. The United States is getting ready to sell $20 billion worth of arms to Saudi Arabia. Weapons. Yeah. You know who's going to pay for them? We are. The American people. Going to pay for weapons so that the Saudi Arabian Saudis can kill us with. That's what's going to happen. It's a serious story. And I had clowns all around me. $20 billion. Yeah, you know how we're going to pay for it? Every time you gas up that little car you want to drive around in. You're buying weapons. You see the TV commercials that say every time you buy a joint and smoke a joint, you're supporting terrorism. Every time you buy a gallon of gas, you're supporting terrorism. That's the real terrorism. Oil companies. We're selling $20 billion worth of these high-tech weapons to Saudi Arabia. The majority of the 9/11 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia. Our government has completely lost its mind. And the American people better stand up and do something about it before it's too late, because those weapons won't be used to kill Arabs. They'll be used to kill the infidels. And that's us. That's right. Of course, one happy thought that I got over this whole situation is if they kill us, they'll have nobody to buy their oil. So, all right. I talked about that. There was something else in here I wanted to talk about from yesterday's paper. Tillman. Now I just have to find it. Oh, yes, I wanted to read this. Letter to the editor from yesterday's Sentinel. solar car is coming to the area. Says to the Sentinel, it was my pleasure to meet the construction team for a solar-powered car in Peterborough. Paul Waterman leads a team of students to design and build from scratch a solar car capable of speeds of 60 miles an hour for 1 hour on solar cells alone. Under his capable hands, the design engineer allows the homeschooling students to make their own decisions in all facets of the car. Their goal is a solar car race at Loudon in September. I will be assisting in tool technology and machining. H. Allen Neff, 67 Sparrow Street. So I think that's really cool. And I'm planning on going to Loudon in September. And I'm hoping that it's going to be something that's going to be held during race weekend. But I believe Conval School has been doing a lot of that solar power car stuff. And I think they've been doing it for a few years. I also believe they have a great robotics program over there at Conval. So I don't know why. What's that? No, it just says it just says their goal is a solar car race at Loudon. So we I don't know. Oh, let's see. Last night I watched Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck had the privilege, and I guess this is what happens when you become a big-time TV guy. He had the privilege to sit down with President Bush in the Oval Office for a face-to-face. And he talked about mentioned the border guards thing. He said it was an off-the-record conversation, and he couldn't quote the president on anything. But he said they did talk about the border issue with the 3 border guards that are in prison. And apparently Johnny Sutton, the U.S. attorney that prosecuted that whole case, was asked to come to some committee meeting and testify, and he just blew it off. See, the longer this whole thing goes on, the more and more it stinks bad. You know, something's going on, and something's going to come out. You're going to see something. There's been a deal between the United States government and the Mexican government or something. But yeah, and the borders are wide open. There are more border deaths this year, I guess, than last year. People dying trying to cross the border. And it's probably because we're cracking down on all the big spots and forcing all these immigrants to go to more dangerous crossings, more dangerous out-of-the-way crossings. But that's just the way it is. What else was I going to talk about? He also talked about the war with President Bush and said the president is concerned and does care about every soldier and every soldier's family. And he's not just a heartless bastard out to start wars and never finish them. But he truly believes there's a cause, and he truly believes that we have to be involved. But I don't know. You know, Glenn Beck was supposed to do a whole big thing on the radio show today about it. But I don't know, just being able to sit down and ask the man, you know, because the normal person doesn't get into the White House to sit down with the president and say, look, what's going on? You know, tell me so I can tell normal people, you know, so we don't have to read through 2 pages of mumbo jumbo to find out the one sentence we've been looking for. I don't know. And that's what, you know, everything is taken and it's put into formed, and, you know, every word he says is planned out for him. He doesn't ever say anything that's not planned. I don't know. He's got a staff of writers. He's got press people that handle all his engagements. I don't know. But anyway, that was Glenn Beck. What else did he talk about? Oh, he had Harry Shearer on talking about the Simpsons movie. And you know, everybody I hear, people are clamoring to see this movie. And I don't understand the draw. The Simpsons was one of those shows that when it first came out, our kids were, what, 7, 8 maybe? Tops. And Ryan used to act like Bart Simpson.
Yep.
And he,
Make the little comments.
Yeah.
Don't have a cow man.
rude, he turned rude and disrespectful.
Yep.
And I actually hated that show. You know, I didn't think it should be on. Or else I thought it shouldn't be geared towards kids. You know, but I used to hate The Simpsons.
They had a big thing over in Springfield, Vermont, this morning, I guess. The radio station was over there, and they were going to have the pink donuts that I guess
Oh,
were like
okay,
on Bart
yeah.
Simpsons and stuff.
Yeah.
They were talking about how well it was going to hold up in this heat, but I guess they've dubbed Springfield, Vermont, as the Springfield that they.
Yeah, and
From.
even our 7-Eleven has all the Simpsons stuff.
Yeah.
All that, and how much money's being made there. You know? And I bet none of the stuff is even made or packaged or anything in a place called Springfield.
Right, exactly.
The sodas are probably made in Northampton. You know, I don't know which bottling company is doing the sodas and all that, but none of it's probably made in a thing. But oh well, what can you say? But yeah, it's big. It's like topping the box offices. And Donna did tell me, her and Carl went to the Northfield Drive-In last weekend because they heard me mention it on the show.
Ah.
So they went to the drive-in.
Good.
And she told me that this week, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, and some movie called Knocked Up
1 minute.
are playing. So, all right.
We have 1 minute.
1 minute left. God, what is it? 79. Warm in here. Heats up quick. I want to thank the crew, Greg, Mike, and Jane, Bruce and Andrea. Thank Nick out in the office for keeping the place open. I want to say hi to Will,
Hey,
Mike's
Will.
son, who stopped in tonight to watch us film the show. And if you want to donate, Cheshire TV. You can email me. You can check the website, unfilteredlive.com. I think I'm going to have some time this weekend to get another page up. What else do I want to do? I was going to say something else in my ending, but I can't remember. So I want to thank my sponsors, Mom's Tattoo and Gemini Screen Print. Till next week, peace.